All right. I think I think we're live. Hey, good morning, everybody. So, man, I ran this poll a couple weeks ago, and man, I talked to a lot of people about sales, of course, and one of the things that always comes up, right, is what's your favorite go-to sales technique? We always talk about all the different techniques. We talk about strategies. We talk about mindsets. We talk about modalities, right? And I put this poll out a few weeks ago that really surprised me. And, in the title of this, right, I put cold calling's dead, or is it really, right? And, everybody gives cold calling a bad rap. And I say everybody, and I'm such an overgeneralizer. But does anybody really like to cold call? Man, very few people. It's the psycho in us that might like it, right? The one that our inner psycho that likes to torture ourselves, right? I mean, what profession on the planet besides sales do we sign up to rejection and just getting doors closed on us, right, all day long? Cold calling's a tough gig. And whether you're picking up the phone or you're going in person and going through the door of the business and seeing the gatekeeper, the receptionist, trying to get back to the decision maker, the CEO, the VP of sales, the purchasing director, whoever it is you're trying to see, right? There's a lot of roadblocks and hurdles to overcome. There's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of disappointment, right? And think about sales, and that's what we're signing up for. You got to go through all of that rejection and disappointment and tough times to see the beautiful view on the other side, right? I think about climbing a mountaintop, right? Going hiking, and man, the first 15 minutes of that hiking trip is, for me, it's like brutal. It's like, oh my God, what am I doing, right? Why did I do this today? What's going on in my head to torture myself? And after about 15, 20 minutes, you start getting your second wind, right? And you're like, man, okay, this isn't so bad. All right, I got this. And 2-3 hours later, depending on how long your hike is, you get to that beautiful view at the top of the trail, and God's country just opens up, and you're like, man, this is totally freaking worth it, right? This is amazing. I am like on top of the world right now. And that's kind of how I feel about cold calling. It's one of those necessities that for a salesperson, a sales professional, a business owner, entrepreneur, right? Our personal lives, right? Asking someone out on that date, right? Someone really special to you that you've got your eye on for a while. You're like, man, I'm digging her, right? Let me work up the courage to go ask her out on a date, or him, or and again, we're faced with a lot of rejection and missed connections, but once we go through that first uncomfortable, tough, difficult part of it, right? It's that view on the other side that is so worth it. And for sales, man, same thing. You go out there and you make all these calls every day, and you meet a lot of amazing people. Not everybody's your client. Not everybody's your customer, right? And so you got to go through all of the rejection. You got to go through all of the heartbreak, all of the ups and the downs, so that you can see that reward on the other side. Because let me tell you, there are people out there that need what you have right? There are businesses and organizations, teams that whatever it is that you're selling, somebody needs that. Somebody needs that today, right? Somebody needs that like they need to breathe, right? Because what you have is special. What you have is you're the only one that has that, right? Yeah, there's other products and services out there that might be similar, but you're the only you, and nobody else can replicate that, right? And so back to the post, getting off on a little bit of a tangent there, but man, the poll, as you can see here on the screen, right? Everyone, 50% of y'all that answered this preferred cold calling as your go-to sales technique, and I was just floored by that. And for me, my answer would have been networking. But when I see this, I'm reminded that there's no way I could have got to networking without first embracing the cold calling. And I'm so glad to see that 50% on this was on cold calling. And it just reminds me how important this is, not just for somebody new starting out. Certainly when we're new and we're starting out in sales, it's all about the grind and the cold calling. And it has to be, right? Because you got to get out there and you got to meet new people. You got to knock on the doors. You got to pick up the phone. And those connections along the way that may not be your customer or client at that time, you know what they turn out to be? They turn out to be your allies. They turn out to be your referrals. They turn out to be your, all these notifications here. Let me turn that off here. Focus. There we go. They turn out to be your networking and industry partners. And so without the cold calling, you don't get to that point, right? And we can start out in our sales career and be like, man, I'm going to do all social selling. I'm going to just do email outreach. I'm going to be the networking master, the networking guru. But all of those start with cold calling to some degree. And it's, man, I just think about, again, starting out and kind of thinking about, comparing that to a hike, right? To, meeting that special someone, right? And it's that necessary evil that we have to go through to build up our book of business, to build up our networking resources, right? Our networking partners, our connections. And so I just wanted to congratulate everybody out there that's embracing the cold calling still, because man, that's where you're gonna catapult your success in any venture, right? Whether it's starting a new business, looking for that special someone, new relationships, growing, starting a sales career with a new organization. It really is all about cold calling. So again, just wanted to give a shout out to everybody that mentioned cold calling, and it's really cool to see that cold calling's not dead. And I see that a lot on social media, and it's something that I don't know why people are posting it, honestly. I'm not sure, that I think it's just that there's this, negative connotation, there's this negative stigma about cold calling that, it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work if we don't do it right. And there's a lot of techniques and processes and mindsets that really help enable and empower you for better cold calling. And I would love to share what I know, of course. And if anybody is looking for help, definitely hit up comments down below and say I'm in, connect, and let's chat about it. But I want to leave you with a couple tidbits that has really helped me in cold calling. And years ago, one of the coaches that I had, and I thought I was pretty good at cold calling before I started working, before our company started working with this gentleman. And Joe Diliberto is his name, and he's a Sandler trainer and coach, and he came in with this concept about this upfront contract and how it affects your cold calling and improves your cold calling. And if you haven't heard about the upfront contract, definitely leave a comment below, and I would love to send you some information. And no strings attached. Just leave a comment below, and I'll DM you a sheet on cold calling and the upfront contract. But basically, it's this concept of setting little miniature agreements. And when we're going in cold calling, what are we doing, right? We're interrupting whoever it is that we're talking to. We're stopping in unannounced, right? And how would you feel if somebody just came into your business and started pitching a product or service, and you're right in the middle of doing payroll, you're right in the middle of prepping for lunch, you're right in the middle of preparing for a big meeting, and you're like, I don't have time for this, right? Well, what if we did this one thing in our cold call? And we simply asked, hey, John, hey, Robert here with Accelerate Sales. I don't know if what you got going on today, but do you have a minute I can tell you why I'm calling today? Hey, do you have a minute I can tell you why I'm stopping in today? And literally that one question has transformed my cold calling, success and percentage in such an unbelievable way, right? And it's really all about respect. And when we go in and we treat our prospect with a level of respect and dignity that they truly deserve, then man, they want to help, right? Very few people will stop what they're doing and say, look, I don't have time for this, get out, right? When you go in and you ask for permission, hey, John, Robert with Accelerate Sales, do you have a minute I can tell you why I'm here today? What? It literally, you can see it in their face, right? They literally stop and they need to process what they just heard, because nobody else is asking for permission. And so when you see that, it's amazing, right? You can literally see that transformation in their attitude, their demeanor, their body language, when you just ask for permission. So for everybody that's that 50% that's out there, grinding and cold calling and making it happen, if you haven't added that one little piece to your repertoire, your quiver, right? Your tool belt, your bat belt, then definitely, give that a try. Ask for permission on this next cold call, and let us know in the comments below what your result was. And if anybody has, a negative response to that, definitely let me know, because I think in the last 15 years, I may have definitely less than I can count on one hand negative reactions to asking for somebody's permission to speak to them. And I truly believe that the ones that were negative, it wasn't about the question. It wasn't about me. It was probably, they're just having a really bad day, right? So the other thing on this is, never take it personal. The rejection, the slammed doors, right? Don't take it personal. Just, shake it off and move on to the next one, and you're going to be fine, right? So, but there's a lot more to the upfront contracts, that initial meeting, and that initial cold call to get the meeting, right? So if you want to learn more, again, let us know in the comments. I would love to send you some information. And again, just drop your email in the comments, or send me a message, and I'll send you a cool little packet on cold calling and first impressions, upfront contract. It's gonna change your world for sure. So thanks everybody. Have an awesome day, and we got a great weekend coming up. So enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you next week. All right, take care.